NASCAR driver?
No, Chase Smith, our manager. Yeah, he scored 7 points on senior night. That's maybe my favorite kid, Chase Smith.
Coach, of course, we do want to, again, also mention, of course, like I said, Spirit Night is tomorrow night. Make sure everybody comes by. Of course, I'll give you an opportunity to brag a little bit here. There was a young lady named Homecoming Queen this year. I believe you might know her.
Sophie, yeah, absolutely.
And
I know her well.
And I think there's a young man that was kicking in the SAC this year, Southern Athletic Conference.
He did. I'm proud of both my young ones. Sophie's, she is a beautiful young lady. I'm her daddy, so I see the inside and out of her, and so each and every day. And she truly is a beautiful inside and out girl. So she's like her mom, but was tickled that her peers chose her as homecoming queen. That means a lot. Probably one of the top 3 or 4 moments for me as a dad.
Yeah, I saw you after the game. I think you were still floating around.
Yeah, when we won the state title, that moment with Drew was great, and then this one with Sophie was just as good for me. So, God gives us moments, and I enjoy the moments with those kids. And Drew had a great year punting the football too. At the beginning, I think he took some teams by surprise. His directional punt's really good. So, but at the second part of the year, teams were coming up and trying to catch that ball because it's a lower, more directional ball. So his average went down, but he had no punts blocked. I think he's all-time leading right now in NCAA Division I and II. He's got more punt yards than anybody, which don't say a lot for your offense. So we punted more times than anybody in the country, but he had a good year punting. Always can get better, but just proud of the person he is too. He's a great kid too. So I'm tickled to have, blessed to have 2 really good kids.
Yeah, Coach Fred Self, I was talking about this last week at Emory and Henry. He said the perfect game: no passes, no punts, no penalties. So again, if Drew's never on the field, it's a good day for UVA.
That's Coach Dameron told me. He said our goal next year is to cut his punt attempts in half. I think he punted 87 times or something, which is crazy. That's a lot, almost 8 times a game. So, they're doing some good things over there. They're young, 50 freshmen, 26 sophomores. They had 14, I think, juniors and 7 seniors. So they're really, and going into the SAC conference, the Carson Newman, Lenore Ryan, and Wingate, those 3 teams are all 3 in the playoffs and phenomenal. Lenore Ryan might be the best small college football team I've ever seen play the game. They were excellent.
Well, Coach, appreciate you stopping by. I know it's you've had practice, and let's get you home and get you some rest. And again, what time is Thanksgiving? So Chris and I were going to come by.
Come on by. We're going to eat all day long. So come by lunch, and we'll eat till. We have a tradition. We eat and then we go hunting. So we had about 4 years in a row there. Drew and I and my nephew, we killed a deer for about 4 years in a row that evening. So last year was the first year we didn't kill one. So we're going to try it out again this year.
Yeah, Leanne probably just swallowed. It's probably just
she
swallowed her tongue. She's like, wait a minute, what? Who's coming?
Yeah, you guys are coming. Double the food up, right?
But Coach, appreciate you. Like I said, we'll let you go. Good luck to you again. We'll be out there December the 3rd, East Side at home. Time for that ball game?
6 for JV. And then we'll follow that at 7:30. Okay. And we've also got a couple other fundraisers. Our Booster Club is doing a $2,000 raffle, and the tickets are $20. So we're selling $220 tickets. Get that out there. We'll be selling those in the coming weeks. That we'll draw for that on December 20th. And then our team's also selling discount cards. It's got places like the campus on it, giving away different things. But La Coretta, I know that's a favorite. But anyway, see one of our players for those cards.
And again, like if you'll share that with us, we'll share it as well and see what we can do. So that drawing you said is on the 20th.
20th.
No, right before Christmas.
Right before Christmas.
So again, that will be a night.
We'll have nice and stocking Christmas morning.
So Science Hill will be coming to town that night. So not only do you beat the Toppers, but take $2,000 of the house. So, all right. So Coach, we'll let you go. We'll take a quick break. Come back. We're going to finish up football season, and we'll talk about a couple other things as well. Again, you've been listening to the home of Blue Devil Sports. This is Gate City Sports Radio.
Proudly representing Southwest Virginia in the House of Delegates for the last 24 years, Terry Kilgore continues to strive and work hard for others. Just like our Gate City Blue Devils proudly represents our school, our town, and community. Delegate Kilgore, a proud Gate City alumni himself, wants to thank the residents of the 1st District for their trust and support over the years as he's continued to voice our needs and concerns in Richmond to make our region a tremendous place to live and work. And on behalf of Delegate Kilgore and his family and staff, they say, Go Big Blue!
James River Advisory, Inc. is a registered investment advisor. Information presented is for educational purposes only and not intended for the offer, solicitation, or sale or purchase of securities, investments, or investment strategies. Investments do involve risk, unless otherwise stated, is not guaranteed. Be sure to first consult with your qualified financial advisor or tax professional before implementing any strategy therein. Past performance is not indicative of future performances.
Are you ready to retire? Or are you currently retired and not happy with your investments? Are you looking for a retirement specialist that cares about you and your needs? Look no further than James River Advisors. Our local office in Gate City is managed by Edwin Cox, and he is ready to take care of all of your needs. He believes in establishing long-lasting relationships with his clients based on trust. Edwin is ready to take care of your financial planning needs, college planning, investments, and much, much more. Give him a call today at 276-690-8014. Again, that's 276-690-8014. He's located at 122 East Jackson Street next to Dollar General in Gate City.
You are listening to the home of Blue Devil Sports. This is Gate City Sports Radio.
With over 100 offices throughout Virginia, you can count on your local Virginia Farm Bureau insurance agents to be there when you need them most. Whether you find yourself in a fender bender, insuring your first home, or with a new addition to the family, our agents are ready to help you through every stage of life. Connect with your local agents, Whitney McConnell, Richard Helms, and David Weddick here in Scott County at 386-7411 or online at vafb.com. Coverage provided by Virginia Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company and their affiliates.
You are listening to the home of Blue Devil Sports. This is Gate City Sports Radio.
And we are back here live from the campus drive-in. Again, want to say thank you to Coach Housewright, Coach Vermillion, and Sam Gerald for joining us here. Chris, we've talked pretty much straightforward for about an hour. Of course, they close now at 8 o'clock.
So we're going to have to make this quick, aren't we?
So we're going to have to kick in some gear, but, of course, we want to say thank you. Gate City has been tremendous, the athletes and the coaches, with their time, and we want to say thank you.
We even had a chance to get harassed by some highway patrolmen on commercial break.
The Virginia State Police is here, in full effect. So make sure that you slow down if you're around Gate City tonight, folks. All right, so let's talk quickly about Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia. We've got playoff action coming up. Again, we wrapped up last week with Gate City with that big ball game. Again, it was 20-19 loss by the Blue Devils. Great effort, though, by Coach Housewright and his boys. But Northeast Tennessee, Chris, what do we got going on?
Well, one thing about the playoffs, each week the list gets a little shorter.
It should be shorter this week.
Really only 3 games I was going to report on this week. D. Dobbins Bennett 28 and Knox Bearden 14. Even though Bearden led 14-7 at halftime, it wasn't enough to hold off the Indians. They scored 21 unanswered points in the second half and pulled away to advance to the third round of the playoffs. DB quarterback Zane Whitson now has 23 touchdown passes this season compared to 1 interception.
That's awesome.
Philip Armitage had 15 carries for DB with 101 yards and a 22-yard reception on the Indians' first scoring drive. I actually heard that on the radio this past Friday night. I was listening to you and then flipped over to listen to DB during a commercial break and heard that score and then came back to pick up the rest of the Gate City game. This shocked me. This was DB's first 10-win season since 2012.
Wow.
It's been a while for DB. Friday night's win, all it did was give Dobbs Bennett the right to host Maryville this Friday night. I'm going to be there. Got a seat if you want to show up with us.
You never know where Gate City Sports Radio may pop up.
With
we may go live that night. You never know.
The Rebels knocked off Knox Farragut, which is a good team, last week, 42-0. I'm not too optimistic this Friday night. I will say this, though. I think whichever team wins this game Friday night wins the state title.
Two very good football teams. Dobbs Bennett has been the best defensive team Northeast Tennessee. Of course, I've got a couple stats here we'll hit really quick here in just a few minutes. But, again, that ball game coming up on Friday night. In a game that I missed by 6 points. What was the next one?
I thought this one would be close based off what happened earlier in the season. Elizabethton 49, Sullivan South 7.
I said 13.
That shows just how much, though, Elizabethton was overlooking South in the regular season. They obviously did not Friday night. Cyclones took control in the first quarter with a 95-yard touchdown pass from Bryson Rollins to Parker Hughes and kept rolling. They scored on every possession except for the last 2 plays of the first half. I'm assuming they took a knee there, and the last 4 plays of the game. Other than that, they scored. This week, Elizabethton hosts Greenville. Elizabethton beat them in Week 9, upset 24-21. This could be a game for the ages.
I think that will be the best football game of all of them, even Southwest Virginia.
South Dole 28, Daniel Boone 12, ended the Trailblazers season. Daniel Boone had that amazing win streak to end the season. Was it 6 games in a row, I believe? They wound up winning. But Boone didn't take this line down. They went toe-to-toe with the Cherokees. The difference in the game, though, really 2 plays. 78-yard touchdown pass from Mason Bragg to Terrell Brown right before halftime. And what really hurt is that came right after Boone was called for an illegal block that had ended the drive. It ended the drive that Boone was about to score a touchdown on. And then Boone had to punt, call for an illegal block. Earlier, on 4th and 1, Missouri commit I'm getting tongue-tied. Now I'm getting all emotional over this. Missouri commit thank you, Elijah Young ran 51 yards for a touchdown. So really, the 78-yard pass, 51-yard TD, that was the difference in the game. So that ends Boone's season. They started high hopes. Injury bug just about wiped them out, and everybody wrote them off. And then they came on strong at the end. So I think good things are on the horizon for Daniel Boone. And that pretty much finishes up Northeast Tennessee. Besides that Oneida-Hampton game, and Oneida took care of Hampton. So we got Elizabethton left, we got Dobbs Bennett left, we got Greenville left, and after Friday night, there'll only be one of those teams I think still playing.
Dobbs Bennett hosts Maryville again at J. Fred Johnson. That ball game's scheduled to start at 7, as well as Elizabethton and Greenville. 70% chance rain for Friday night. Don't know how that will bode for either team, which will be a strength. Of course, like I said, playing on artificial turf, both those facilities are artificial, so you won't see the mud and everything like you would on some of these other ones. Why Dobbs Bennett should win, why Maryville should win. Here we go. DB, again, dating back to 2015, Maryville is 16-0 while playing at home, but they are 0-2 in pure road games.
So, but that 0-2, that shows you how much of a home field advantage they get from dominating the regular season.
But they're on the road. All right, so again, J. Fred Johnson Stadium, when it's packed, and of course that band, when things get kicking and we invite everybody, make sure to go out and support these local schools. It should be a great football game, win, lose, or draw. The Indians, we talked about that defense. They've held 6 opponents to 1 score or less in 4 shutouts this year. That linebacker core, they are going to be asked to do a lot. Of course, Maryville, they've won 16 state titles. Again, they've been in they've reached the final 16 times in the last 19 years. They've scored between 42 and 49 points in 7 of their 12 games this year. The Rebels have scored at least 30 points in every single one but one. The Dobbs Bennett defense against the Maryville offense, I think, will be what happens. I think it's going to be the deciding factor in the two. Elizabethton, of course, why they should win. Elizabethton has already shown that they can beat Greenville. They beat them 24-21 just in Week 9. Cyclones have outscored their opponents by an average margin of 38-10 this year. And then, of course, why Greenville? Greenville was up 21-7 though late in that ball game against Elizabeth, and whenever that the Cyclones came back on them. Greenville, they are the two-time defending state champions. They've got 4 state championships in the last 10 years. So the experience, the playoff experience has been there. The